Hey, so I just came back from my first float. It was in West Boylston, Mass. At the Crystalline Matrix, is what they call it. Small place, one float tank, small shower. People are really, really nice, um, and it's just really peaceful setting walking in, which was great to get your mind right because once you go in, you're kind of like, what am I doing here? I'm gonna go sit in a tub of salt water for an hour, and at first you're kind of like, why am I doing this? So having a good, really relaxing, welcoming setting really helps to kind of ease you into the situation. Um, so what happened was I took a shower before I went in, so I can kind of warm my body up a little bit, so I can kind of just get right into the to the tank and kind of get calibrated with the temperature of the water. Um, and you go in completely naked, and um, and you start floating right away. You lay down and you're floating. It's just boom, like you're a cork. And the tank was a good sized tank. I kind of bumped into it a couple times trying to lay down and kind of get squared away. But once you start floating, I mean, you're already feeling it. You're already experiencing kind of that oneness almost. It's completely dark, completely soundproof. I had some earplugs in so I didn't get any chemicals in my ears, and um, and you just start floating. I mean, it's really up to you where you go from there. Um, so after a while, my back of my neck was the only thing that was kind of bothering me. So I threw my hands behind my head to kind of give it some support, and and I mean, you just kind of you just kind of disappear almost. You just kind of let go, and you're not really doing anything really. You're just sitting there in pitch darkness, um, floating. I mean, the only thing you really feel is just the edge of the water from where your stomach and your face is. That edge that separates the water from the air. That's pretty much the only thing you feel. You don't hear anything, you don't see anything, you don't anything. And my experience was basically I just uh, at first I started to see a few kind of lights. I would see like a bright bulb almost, and then it would center in, and it would just get really bright, and then it would disappear. And I was focusing on that for a while. I'd get this big bright like bulb almost, and it would get brighter and brighter as it focused in, and then it would kind of disappear. And I thought that was kind of cool. Didn't really make any sense. There was no light in there. It had to have been completely, you know, created from my mind, and that was interesting. It really was. It didn't make any sense to how I could see light in complete darkness. Um, and then I could start feeling my heartbeat, and I could hear my heartbeat, and I started to really focus in on that, and that kind of helped me kind of alleviate the senses of everything else that was going on, the water, the temperature. It's hard to find something to focus on because there's nothing but you and but your mind, and you just your mind just wanders, and focusing on the heartbeat was something that I think got me over the edge into kind of almost another level of my experience because I was able to just focus completely on that and have just this complete state, like peaceful state of mind, and just focus heartbeat, 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 and um, yeah, I mean that's what kind of took my mind off of everything else. It's just you find one little thing, and that's kind of where it went. Um, some weird thoughts I had were, you know, what am I? What is the human body? What is this human biology? You know, you just start to really reflect on just random stuff, like stuff you just don't think about day to day. Um, and towards the end, I could see myself starting to just completely forget that I was even in there. I didn't fall asleep, but at one point I was so focused in on one thought that I just kind of I had to come. I came back from it. I'm like, whoa, I'm in a float tank. Like that's kind of what happens towards the end, where you start to really, really, really let go, and you just kind of your mind just dissipates into something else. Um, and Yeah, I mean, so when I got out, instantly I pretty much forgot everything that I thought about in there. I know I thought about some pretty weird stuff, but it didn't come back to me. I just kind of it was like in and out, and feel like it was like that. It felt like maybe it was like a half an hour. I mean, time kind of was split in half, um, and when I stood up, felt taller. And one of the things that um, Carol, the woman that worked there, said that actually people do get taller while they're in the float tank because their spine will elongate, your spine will relax, and if you have any weird shape to your spine, you have any spine problems, it kind of it lets it relax and lets it kind of straighten out on its own. So when I stood up, I definitely felt taller. My back feels like amazing. It's like jello still. And everything was in slow motion after that. It still is. It's about a good hour after, and I'm completely. Everything is like just really, really slow. Like the way I think, the way I move. But at the same time, everything feels really peaceful. Like everything just feels like it's meant to be. I know that sounds kind of, um, esocentric. It just doesn't. It just feels like it's just like this. This is just supposed to be here, and it just is. It's just doing its thing. That's it. Everything is just doing its thing, and it doesn't. I feel like I'm just I'm just being at this point. I mean, I'm slowly coming out of that, but I still have a very prominent feeling of just being. That's it. And I mean, God, I mean, my heart rate is just so steady right now. Um, I mean, nothing can change that. And one of the weird things is that I don't have any desires for anything. Like I haven't eaten today. I'm not hungry. I'm just kind of at peace right now with myself. I just don't. I could just sit here and just do this for about 3 hours right now and just be happy as shit. Like it doesn't. I'm just really, really just at peace with myself right now. Um, and One of the weird things that I think that I noticed when I was driving back home, because it's about an hour highway drive from there back home, and I I almost got into a car crash. Not it wasn't serious. It kind of drifted into someone else's lane, and and normally it would have scared the shit out of me. I came back into my lane, and I was my heart rate was nothing, not even one little beat more. Like I was just still, just really, really relaxed. So my suggestion is to don't drive after. Just chill out. Maybe have something set up for you to do after you're done. But I mean, I would suggest just just relax. Just kind of experience it. Kind of get back into yourself and just kind of. I mean, I don't know. Just chill out. That's it. Just chill. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing now. Every moment is a really, really, really chill moment. Um, I mean, that's about it. I love to hear, more people's experiences. I've been looking online a lot to see who's done it and who's just been willing to talk about it. So I'd love for a few people to kind of comment on this and maybe post something of themselves doing it. And on a last note, I think what was kind of ironic was um, today is 11/11/11, and I've been trying to do this for a long time. And I realized that this morning I didn't plan it at all. It just kind of that was today's the day that I was able to find time to do it and schedule it, and it just happened to be one of those weird dates. I know a lot of people are all about the um, different dates and what they mean and so forth, and I'm not really into that. It just happened to be that way. Um, but yeah, I mean that's my experience, and hope some of you can share your experiences, and hope people can get into tanks and find them. I mean, uh, it would have took me an hour from Boston, where I normally live, to get here, get to West Boylston. So they're kind of hard to find unless you're on, the West Coast, somewhere in California. They're all over the place. But yeah, thanks for listening, and enjoy.